Welcome to Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast. This is an actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Royalty-free music provided by Kevin MacLeod, Michael Gelfie Studios, Plate Mill Games, and Tabletop Audio. And now, to adventure. Hello, listeners. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Knights of Roleplay. I'm DM Chris. In this session, I will be running you all through an adventure called Cult of the Cave Crickets. Cult of the Cave Crickets is a multi-session, level 2, horror-themed adventure from Dark Star Adventures, written by my good friend Jeff Demers, who I played D&D with for many years, and whose wedding I was actually at yesterday. He was very excited that I was running this for you guys today. I was a beta reader for this adventure, offering my thoughts and critiques. The Kickstarter launched on July 2nd, or it will have when this is airing, and goes until July 31st. There will be a link to the Kickstarter in the show notes for this episode. We will be using Theater of the Mind for combat encounters. I say that because we're actually on Zoom, where we're going to meet in person, but we're on Zoom today. And when we go back to being in person for the remainder of the adventure, which will probably run about 3 sessions, we will continue to use Theater of the Mind combat. So I'd like to give a content warning. Some of the scenes depicted in this horror adventure are graphic in nature, so listener discretion is advised. Before we begin, let's go around and meet our party of adventurers. So I'm going to start with John. John, can you tell us your species, your class, and maybe just a little bit about your character?
For this campaign, I am bringing back the ever-lovable Riki, our kobold fighter. Some of you may remember him from our In Volo's Wake adventures. This, in Riki's timeline, is going to take place prior to all that, which is why he's only level 2. But he's typical kobold, a little cowardly, but very much willing to throw hands when necessary.
Cool.
And
cool.
then grovel and beg when that doesn't work. So,
which is a kobold feature that I think is awesome. Okay, Mr. Greg, can you tell us your species and your class and maybe just a little bit about your character?
All right, I am playing Quinris Tethadrin, and he is an Eldrin Warlock, which is the first time I've played this kind of character, so we will see how this goes.
Okay, so you're an Eladrin elf and you're a Warlock, got it?
Yes. And he is a orphaned young man raised in the streets. He's 6 feet tall, and he has green eyes and dark shaggy hair, along with wearing long horn-rimmed glasses. He also has a severe scar on one half of his face, and he wears a mask to cover that, so that's when you see him, he has half a face. And he has a strange sense that surrounds him, making most uncomfortable around him.
Okay, all right. Kate, what is your species and your class, and maybe a little bit about your character?
Okay, so I am playing Jin Antioch. She is a variant human fighter warlock. So let's see here. She is
sort of a fighter and a warlock and a fighter warlock.
Yes.
Can't not multi-class.
Right. So, she has kind of like really pale golden blonde hair, and her skin is kind of just kind of unnaturally pale. Something not quite right. Her eyes kind of have this weird golden metallic sheen to them, reddish golden, and then she has you can see coming up from her clothing, incredibly intricate kind of interwoven tattoos. Although if you look closer, it kind of looks like some of them might be really deep scars or gouges.
I thought you were going to say something else.
So she was a a mercenary originally and went on a mission with a group that went terribly, terribly wrong. And thanks to the events of that mission, she became what she is and has the Haunted One background.
Cool.
Yep.
All right. Sarah, would you like to talk about your species and class, a little about your character?
Wow, leave it to Greg and Kate to always have detailed
I didn't even talk to him, and our
everything.
names rhyme. What's happening here?
Yeah, we didn't coordinate any of this before.
No.
We just kind of all dived in with our own characters.
Yeah, we dove in. I totally dove in and thought about this really hard. Yeah, I'm a terrible, terrible player. So I am playing Whitmore E. Name, Witty Name for short.
Nice. I like it.
He is a Kenku sorcerer.
Cool.
He doesn't have much of a background that he has told anybody about. Just he's a burb.
Okay. All right.
Burb. I
Kenkus
is
are awesome.
burb.
Witty
Okay.
bird.
And
Pretty
the-
bird.
Are you an
for
emo
the
bird?
for the listeners, I had everybody make second level characters. I had them use point buy for abilities, and I gave them maximum hit points for their level.
Oh, and
So-
he's of shadow magic, by the way.
Oh, shadow magic, very cool, nice. Okay, so let's get into the adventure. So, as our adventure begins, your group has been adventuring together for about 3 months. You have journeyed for many days through the cold, craggy hills, deep valleys, and heather-covered slopes along the outskirts of the known world. Mist blankets the land, obscuring the path ahead, and a frigid wind blows from the north, where storm clouds have gathered ominously. It's preternaturally quiet. There is no birdsong, no chirping of insects. You haven't seen another soul in days. Dusk is fast approaching when you hear the plodding of hooves, slow like the beating of a dirge. It echoes against the exposed rock of the hills around you, seeming to come from everywhere and nowhere. What would you like to do? Anybody?
John's like, I'm trying not to be the first one to speak.
And everybody's waiting for John to be the first one to speak.
Yes.
I'm visually
Context.
setting it in my
Have-
mind. It's gonna-
Have we encountered a lot of conflict in the last few days? Like, is there any background on that? Or,
Any what?
like, do we have reason to suspect if this is friend or foe? Like, have we been attacked in recent days? Or,
No, you've
No.
been traveling for many, many days, haven't seen a soul in days.
haven't seen a soul, so we haven't seen anybody. Ricky thinks we should hide.
There's someone at the edge of the world.
I'm gonna. Wit
Ricky's
is
gonna
just
duck out.
looking around and trying to find bugs.
Okay, so Ricky's hiding.
Or perhaps we should hide and see who this is.
Hide? Who is this?
The atmosphere is very dark here. I like it.
Okay, so we have 2 votes for hiding.
Yeah.
Is everybody trying to sort of just hide behind some rocks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. So from around the bend, you spot a figure atop a sweat-lathered horse. The horse stumbles along the path, its eyes half closed, and the froth of past terror dried upon its flank. The figure takes shape as a man, cowl pulled low over a lined and bearded face. His clothing, although ripped and dirtied, is made of fine cloth. A pair of cracked spectacles hangs about a chain on his neck. What would you like to do? You see this person coming through this area and you're all hiding. Why don't we have people make stealth checks? Because that would be fun. We'll do a group stealth check. Everybody roll stealth
Super stealthy.
and tell me what you
boy.
get.
All right.
You said that
Yeah,
the
there you go.
the light was kind of gloomy right now, not full sun right now.
Yeah, it's very gloomy. There's a lot of mist
Okay, so my
and clouds. Storm clouds have gathered. So yeah, I mean it's cloudy, it's overcast. There's a storm not too far off.
Okay.
What'd you get, Greg?
I got a 16. Let me
16. Okay.
look at my. I had to fix my equipment because that was the previous character was on
It's
there.
fine.
Let's see, stealth. So it's a 17 total.
17 total. Okay, John.
6.
Okay.
Kind of making rattling noises.
Oh, Ricky.
Kate.
23.
23. And Sarah.
6.
6.
So does this average out okay or not?
Okay.
So basically, all of a sudden you see Wit pop out of the bush with its little raven head and bugs.
Wit,
okay.
stay down,
Bugs.
Wit. Wit, we're supposed to be hiding, Wit.
Okay, the person on the horse stops the horse and sort of waits cautiously to see what the two people
Jin
are that he
says,
just saw.
Jin says, some help you two are. Steps out. Says, friend, you do not look well.
Okay, so sort of puts the cowl back and sees you there and sees the other two. Doesn't actually seem to notice. Your character's name is Quinn, Greg?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't quite seem to notice Quinn if you want to stay hidden. But the other three of you are obviously making your presence known. So the individual on the horse says, "Good day. I am Professor Barnabas Ward, Professor of Law and Jurisprudence at the Blackwood College of Ancient Mysteries. I am part of an expedition of 13 members, led by Lucas Davenport, who set out to find a fallen star along the outskirts of the known world. This morning, our expedition had just made camp when a fierce snowstorm struck. Unprepared for the sudden weather shift, we fled into the nearby caves for shelter. We were attacked by unseen monsters in the darkness, and our group scattered. I escaped the caves, grabbed a horse, and fled into the wilderness. It's been 4 hours since then, and I do not know the fate of my compatriots. I was heading toward the closest hamlet, Dawnshire, a day's ride south. If you could go to the camp and discover the fate of my companions, then meet me at the hamlet. I'll give you the remaining funds for the expedition as a reward, a total of 500 gold pieces. Will you help me?"
Steps out. Caves Riki can do. I could use a little bit of extra money. Okay. Riki can look.
Okay. So with your confirmation, Ricky, he describes in detail how to get to the camp before taking a piece of parchment from his saddlebags along with a quill and ink and begins writing on the parchment. He then holds out the parchment to the group and says, "Here is a list of the expedition members and their titles. In the event that you locate some or all of them, I have included columns for indicating where you find them and their condition." And I'm being instructed to provide handout A to the players. So I will put this file in the chat. Let's see. Desktop, handout A.
Riki's hands don't write well. Here, Jen, you take it.
Jin sighs and takes it.
Quinn appears out of nowhere.
Shows it to Quinn.
Interesting.
Handout A is available. So you all have the handout. So Professor Ward, he wishes you well, and then he rides off.
Rides off into the gloom.
He rides off to the hamlet to await your return.
What was the name of the hamlet?
Names. List of names.
Yes, there are a list of names.
Are we supposed to walk where we're supposed to go? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Yes.
What we've been doing,
We
and it's not fun.
need to backtrack to the campsite as the professor described and see if we can't locate the rest of the group and find out what happened.
and find the caves.
And looking at the list, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
You're not backtracking anywhere, Kate. You're just going to where he just came from.
12 forward track.
So you're headed to the camp.
Yes, we are looking
Vicky will
for
take point.
as many as 11 additional expedition members.
Okay. So you travel for approximately 4 hours. Ahead of you, a black mountain looms over the foothills and valleys below. The mountain appears as a perfect equilateral triangle with a jet black surface bereft of any greenery. It is an aberrant two-dimensional icon, so razor-edged and without variance that it looks as though it were simply lifted from a map and pasted onto the landscape. Just over the next rise, you can see a camp nestled within the foothills of the mountain. A recent snowstorm has covered the area in several feet of snow. A grouping of wind-blown trees lines the eastern edge of the camp, where several snapped reins twist in the breeze. To the west, 2 tetrahedral mounds have been carved out of the snow. Throughout the camp, there seems to be a series of irregular impressions resembling an erratic dance, overlaying frantic boot prints. How would you like to proceed?
It looks like maybe people are running for their lives, possibly.
Tense emotions, tense emotions.
Probably true.
Investigate to see if anything of use can be found here.
Well, you might as well. Ricky,
So
you should proceed. Go ahead, proceed into the camp and see if we can't
Take a look around.
locate any of our missing corpses.
Corpses.
I mean people.
Let's check
Assumes they're corpses.
the mounds for starters.
Oh, as we
Well, are you going
I assume we're
past?
going to proceed into the camp.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
Yes.
As we do, I'm just going to give a general perception to see if anything stands out.
Go ahead and roll perception.
14.
14. Let's see. Nothing in the immediate area. I mean, let's see. Yeah, I mean, you're not quite at the camp yet. But are you making this check as you get into the camp or before you get in there?
My intention is just as we're entering the camp,
As you're
to
entering
see
the
if
camp.
anything stands out, like body-shaped mounds or
Nothing particularly stands out. There are basically like some tents that have been blown by the wind and like collapsed, and there are other ones that are more intact. And you see like the prints like all over the ground in the area.
anything leading to and from the tents.
Let's see. I would like, before I answer that question, John, I would like, hold on to that question for me.
Well, hold on.
What are people's wisdom scores? Greg, what is Quinn's wisdom score?
Regular wisdom?
Yeah, just your wisdom score.
13.
13. And what is Riki's wisdom?
11.
11. And what is Jin's wisdom, Kate?
10.
10. And Sarah, what is Wit's wisdom?
Wit doesn't have much wit. It's also a 10.
Also a
Average.
10.
Plus 0.
Basically, we're average across the board. Quinn's probably the biggest.
Okay. So let's see. This is interesting.
We have no healers.
Oh.
Doubly problematic.
So I am going to say, because I think this is kind of interesting. So, wit, and actually no, let's just do wit. Okay, wit. So you begin to hear something in your mind. It's like these weird kind of mutterings. It's like whispers, little bits of whispers. You're having a hard time kind of making out any sort of words. You're having a hard time understanding, but you kind of hear like this weird whispering, sort of muttering in your mind, but you're not sure if it's coming from somewhere around you or if you're just imagining it. It's very strange. It's not like anything you've ever experienced, but you get these weird whispering mutterings in your mind, and you're not sure where they're coming from.
Knew I should have played a gift. I almost played a gift.
Wit starts flapping his wings around and
Whoa,
imitating the muttering noises at first.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is it? Mutter, mutter,
Wit,
mutter, mutter,
Wit,
mutter.
are you
Where is
okay?
it? Where is it?
What are you hearing?
Wit, look at Ricky. What
are you
is it?
hearing?
Ricky?
Good. Are you with us?
As a
Mutter,
total
mutter, 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 mutter.
sidebar, Jin's fighting style is blind fighting, so she has
Mhm.
blind sight to a range of 10 feet.
That's kind of cool.
So she's gonna kind of patrol around and see if she can see anything that would be disturbing her friend.
Oh, we should.
So you're basically continuing. Well, you're looking in the immediate area.
Yeah, she's basically gonna walk around her, kind of arc around her and see, kind of widen the circle as she goes and see if she can't see something that looks abnormal with her devil sight,
Okay.
blind sight.
So you do notice as you're coming into the camp, you notice that several of the tents have been either crushed by the storm or blown into the trees. Equipment and gear lie scattered about the camp, half buried in the snow. And what was the thing that you were doing, John? Before I forget.
It was just I was curious if there's any sign of like you said there was footprints all in the snow.
Yeah.
As to whether or not there is a sign of any going into the intact tents or anything like that.
There are some going into the intact tents. Yes. Yeah. It's
Okay.
there's so many prints everywhere. There's these there's the weird prints that seem to be on top of the boot prints, and you're not sure what those weird prints are coming from that are mixed in with the boot prints. It does look like things were very chaotic, but there are prints coming in and out of the tents as well, boot prints and the weird other prints. If you want to make a survival check on the prints in the snow.
I will try. I have very little survival. Oh, actually, no, I've got a plus 2 survival.
That's pretty good.
Gwen says something to Jen in her head.
Hold on just a second, Greg.
Okay.
What was your survival check, Ricky?
17.
17. Okay. So you realize that the impressions, like not the boot prints, the ones that you're having a hard time identifying, you realize that the impressions were made. You're pretty sure they were made by a creature with multiple legs, and each print consists of several sort of dainty marks akin to tiny curved divots. Some sort of a multi-legged creature that's making these dainty marks akin to tiny curved divots. They are mixed in with the boot prints.
Any curved divots, I would assume, be like claw marks, like a claw
Could be, yeah.
Riki thinks that we should be on the lookout for a very large, very clawed creature. Probably want to avoid it while we look for bodies.
Mutter, 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 mutter.
So the whispering seems to go away. You hear it for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, and then it kind of goes away.
I'd like to know if there's any literature that these people left as they fled that might better inform our search. And she's gonna focus her searching on like trying to check the abandoned tents.
Yeah, sure.
Loot under the ones that are collapsed. Check the.
Riki will join
Anyone
you
will help
because
me.
he's looking for the actual people.
Right.
So the smaller tents yield various personal effects, as well as 2 torches and a total of 12 gold and 23 silver.
Yeah.
Let's see. In one of the larger tents, there is an empty bird cage that sits atop a crate of scientific equipment.
All right.
And in another one of the tents, you find a squat writing desk and stacks of dozens of empty field notebooks. One notebook sits open on the desk. The first page contains a short entry, and I will now provide you with handout B, which I'll put in our Zoom chat. Here we go. From my computer, and handout B. So everyone, download that to your computer and just take a quick look at it. And I'm going to read you what is on this first page of this notebook, which is also in the handout. It says, "We've arrived. After years of studying the meteor and preparing for the journey, I am finally here. It feels as though I've walked into a dream. There hasn't been much chance to investigate the fallen star, but initial findings are quite strange. It seems oddly resistant to both pick and hammer, save a small splinter Professor Lestrange was able to pry off. We've discovered a substantial crack in the ground of the crater beneath the fallen star. It appears the star made landfall quite violently and burst through an ancient cave system below. What luck! I intend to make the most of this trip and engage in a bit of spelunking while I'm here. A storm appears to be moving in from the mountain. I best order the crew to secure our equipment. The cave we found may be an excellent shelter if the storm proves to be too much for our canvas tents."
Riki knows where the birdcage is for them now.
Did everybody get the handout?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Where is Herb?
for the listeners, it does have what I just read. It also has a picture of what looks like a meteor on the ground with a huge crack under it. And then there is another area right next to it that shows sort of a rough map with the area of the tents in relation to the area where the crater is. Just so our listeners know what we're looking at. Okay, so let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the tents. You got the smaller tents, the larger tents. You found the notebook. I read the stuff to you. Okay. So, how would you like to proceed?
You said something earlier about strange-shaped mounds of snow, like hexagonal.
Correct. Yes. To the west are these strange tetrahedron-shaped mounds of snow, and to the east is where there's like a copse of trees where there are rains that are obviously broken off. So you basically you've got the crater area, you've got the mounds of snow, and you have the tree line.
Which trying to see if he fits in the cage.
How big is Wit? How big is Wit?
Wit's a medium creature.
Medium creature. You're probably a little bit too big.
I'm imagining like sticking his head in there and like
Are the larger
comes up with it.
are the larger tetrahedrons the tents that we just explored in, or is that something we haven't looked at yet?
No, you haven't looked there yet. Right now you're in the camp, and you have the mounds, the crater, and the trees. Those are the sort of three areas that you're aware of that you haven't explored yet.
Riki
Check
thinks
the
that Witch
mounds.
shouldn't be trying to get in there. That's where they put the canaries to know whether or not there's any gas that in the caves they're going to see.
Fellow bird foes.
Maybe not the best idea.
Uh,
But Riki would like
finish
to
ex-
look at these weird mounds first.
Yes,
The mounds?
help me check these out, please.
Gwen says to Jen in her mind, maybe these have something to do with what happened to them.
The mounds.
Yes, they seem unusual in their structure.
We won't know until we investigate all of this. Do I have the ability to answer you telepathically? That's a warlock feature that I don't have. So, what flavor of warlock are you? Out of curiosity.
It just says Warlock 2. It doesn't say specifics because I chose
Okay.
the great old one as
Okay.
As your patron.
yes.
Yeah. No, she's the undead flavor of warlock, so a little
Oh,
different.
goody.
Yes.
Okay.
She's not quite
So
What?
right.
Being an undead warlock? What?
She's not quite right.
So the mounds is where you're headed next.
Riki's beginning to wonder what kind of group he got himself involved in this time.
Mounds? Are bugs in mounds?
Maybe.
Find out, perhaps.
Okay, so
We
there
won't know
are.
unless we look.
So
I
you
will-
go over.
I'll assist Jen with whatever investigating she wants to do of the mounds.
So you approach the mounds, and there are two mounds of snow here. Their tops shaped into sharp tetrahedrons. Along the sides of these three-sided pyramids are carved strange and unsettling hieroglyphs. There is a sense of dread in this place.
Okay. So here's a cool thing. She took the Eldritch Adept feat because she's a variant human.
Okay.
And the feat she has is Eyes of the Runekeeper. So she can read all writing.
Okay. So hold on to that thought for 1 second. Does anybody in the group have deep speech as one of their languages?
Actually.
I almost took that, but I did not.
She is Abyssal, Common, Infernal, and Primordial.
So Greg doesn't.
Comic and Silver.
Kate doesn't.
No,
No.
I didn't
Right.
take it.
Other than
Wait.
Eyes of the... Yeah.
Wait, you don't have it? Okay. All right, so, but that's okay. Eyes of the Runekeeper, your warlock feature. You can read all writing.
Yep.
So what you can read on these hieroglyphs are various proclamations of servitude to Myceliarax, the great fungal lord, as well as an admonishment of interlopers and heathens.
Okay.
Myceliarax is Mycelorax, pronounced Myceliarax.
Myceliarax.
Sounds a lot like
Say it.
celiac disease.
The great
Same.
fungal god, Lord.
The great fungal lord. Yep.
Lord.
Proclamations of servitude to Myceliarax, as well as admonishments of interlopers and heathens.
Huh?
Not gonna say it.
He's a spore.
I'll tell
So-
the others.
You tell the
The
others.
Yeah,
important
you see-
sport.
You see her eyes kind of continue to glow strangely as she reads it. She says, well, it seems to say that whoever wrote this is in servitude to the fungal lord Myceliarax.
Interesting.
And there's a warning here against interlopers and heathens.
Up against a giant mushroom?
Apparently. Does that match with what you saw in the tracks?
Fungus among us.
No.
Fungus among us.
That's what I was trying not to say.
So are we then heathens? Is that what you're meaning?
I think that's still to be determined, but I have a feeling our friends in this camp most certainly were.
What the tracks that Riki, the details about the tracks that Riki found probably don't match up with what you're describing, Kate.
No, that's what the conclusion Riki
All
just
right.
came to. She said, no,
Well,
Riki found tracks to a large creature with lots of legs and lots of claws. Doesn't sound very
This
fungal to me.
is foreboding, but regardless, we still have explored a campsite and have not found people yet.
No.
So where to next?
Maybe somebody took refuge in the trees.
Hold on one second. Quinn, what is your passive perception?
Passive perception wisdom?
Correct.
It's 13.
13. John, what is Riki's passive perception?
Well,
12. And Jin?
12.
12. And Wit?
12.
12. Okay. So Quinn is the highest at 13.
Very middle of the
Quinn's
road.
got-
Wow.
Quinn's
Well,
got
I'm
the
going to have a
most-
heart attack. Kate doesn't have like a 20-something perception.
Not for
What?
the spell. She needs charisma and dexterity.
Oh,
Okay.
I also have the proficiency in perception.
That's good. That's good.
Huh.
So hold that thought just for a second. So what is the plan right now going forward?
if Ricky's suggestion is that if we're not finding anything else around here, that we should check to see if anybody took refuge in the trees.
Okay, are you searching around the area?
Yes.
We didn't look
I
at the
feel like-
other.
I mean, I said I'd help Ricky would
Yeah.
help Jin out with anything. that
We're
she-
trying to basically clear the campsite and make sure there's nothing in the campsite. So if we have
Okay,
searched
okay.
everywhere and not found people or anything
Gotcha.
else of interest for Jin to read,
Okay, so you're all
yeah,
so you find the hieroglyphs, you read the hieroglyphs,
yeah.
and in your investigation of this area, I'm going to say that Quinn having the highest passive perception, I'm going to say that you notice something at the base of one of the mounds that seems to like just barely catch your attention because it's sort of like a darker color, like a brown color. Like you're all moving around, you're all investigating the mounds, and as you do, like snow is moving under your feet a little bit here and there, and suddenly this like dark spot at the base of the mound becomes visible, and you happen to notice it as people are walking around checking out the mounds.
Okay. I see something at the other mound. It stands out, and it's different in color.
When he points it out, do we see it too?
Yes, you do. He points it out to you, and you see a spot at the base that looks kind of brownish in color.
Wit thinks it looks like bug, so Wit's gonna go over there and try to beak it.
So you start poking at it with your beak.
Yeah.
I was going to poke at it with my short sword, but okay.
Jin rolls her eyes.
Okay, so Wit is a what's the name of the race species? again?
Kenku.
Kenku, which is basically
Raven
which is
people.
basically
Basically
a
like
raven,
a raven bird. Yeah.
a raven person. Yeah. So you go over and start picking at this spot, and the more you pick at it, the more that the snow kind of like gets moved away from the violent pecking of your beak, and it looks like the heel of a boot.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Jin puts a hand on her shoulder and says, "Friend, you should stop for a moment. Let those of us who have dealt
Not a
in
bug. Not a bug.
Not a bug.
check this further."
Yeah, I come over to help.
He starts to clear the area and see if this is a limb, if this is a body, if this is just a boot. You know, what are we dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, you start to uncover a boot, and it has a certain amount of weight to it that leads you to believe there's a foot in it.
oh
It's,
dear.
it's not
Is
just
that
a
it?
Time to
Not
keep,
just a boot,
And-
Is it just a foot?
It depends on how much more
Wit
you want
starts
on it.
using
keep digging.
We're gonna-
his
we're
wings
gonna
to
bury it.
start clearing the snow around the area.
Okay, so you basically dig up the mound, and you find the body of a man underneath this mound.
Oh dear.
Body of a man. What man? The man
Yep.
with the power?
Found her.
So
First.
Doesn't
the
match.
the chest is cut open, and there's dark yellow fungus incubating
Ew.
inside.
Ooh.
And you also kind of notice that like the strata of the hole that this person is basically in is sort of gouged with long furrows, which catches Ricky's attention.
I was about to
Sounds
ask
like the
that
prince.
question. Is it looks like that would have been made by something about the size of the claws that I
Correct.
found earlier.
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. Our
Not a good sign.
mysterious
Not
clawed
good.
beasts.
Not good.
Does the body match with one
It's
of the
violent.
names on the list that's described?
Well,
or can we tell?
can we find,
I
or more to
guess-
the point, can we find
Does it
anything
have ID?
identifying?
Right. Identifying marks, possessions, notebook, yada yada yada.
Yeah, let's
Loot the corpse!
see.
Look like
So you find
Wit's not touching that shit.
Ricky
so
doesn't care.
Fungus.
so you do find a notebook on this individual. You find 4 gold pieces, 3 silver, a magnetic compass, and a brass fixture, and a field notebook. And the field notebook belongs to Professor Kingsport.
Looks like he was a fun guy.
And the oh, that was awesomely bad.
Timestamp!
That was John level bad right there.
Professor Kingsley?
Professor Kingsport.
Kingsport. Horatio Kingsport, professor
Kingsport.
of literature.
Correct.
Now,
The final page of the notebook, of the field notebook, is of special significance, as he notes that the sudden inclement weather, the odd fungal growths on the fallen star, and the properties of the shard, the strange pry off the meteor, remind him of some of the oldest stories known to man, stories which involve strange and horrific creatures, visitors from other planes of existence, and forbidden knowledge too terrible to bear.
Well,
And-
This doesn't bode well.
unfortunately, we've lost one of the ones we were meant to find.
Well,
This is
we
not
at
a
least-
good start.
We at least know
He
what
broke
has
the mold.
happened. We have an answer.
He just
Broke
said to
the
find
mold.
them. He didn't say he had to find them alive.
All right, well, where to from here, friends?
Okay, so as you're basically looting this body, it starts to twitch violently and kind of like move around on the ground.
Not dead. Okay. Step back and pull and draw my whip.
Okay,
Shall we?
it twitches around for about 30 seconds and then seems to settle.
Do we? Is there any knowledge in the group, like as far as like an Arcana check or something, for us to figure out, like if something infested in this way? Does any of us have the knowledge to know that, like, hey, burn it?
I think it'd probably
That's
be more.
the safest approach, right?
Or
I mean,
Nature,
you can make probably, I would say, either one, nature or Arcana, if somebody wants to make a check.
I could try.
Okay.
I suck at both, so doesn't matter. I suck equally at both.
So it's a 21 for me
Ooh,
because I have +2 to Arcana.
yeah,
Uh,
Warlock.
A 21. So, I mean, that's a really good roll. And you can see that within the open chest of this body, you can see the dark yellow fungus. You're not aware of any sort of fungus that can do this to a body, that can make it move like that. I mean, I will say with the 21 that, it's very clear to you that the fungus is growing. It's not like you came across it and it's like, oh, it's dead. The fungus is dead, it's frozen, or it's just died off, or whatever. It's, it's used its bacteria to eat it, whatever it's going to eat, and it's done. Like you can tell that this fungus is still growing within inside this body, even though it was
Okay.
buried under the snow. But you have no idea about any fungus that makes a body move.
Okay. I say to the rest of everyone, this fungus is still alive, so I would think that maybe that is what's moving the body as he's clearly dead.
Then,
Agree with that.
then Ricky thinks we should just leave it be and
Should
go elsewhere.
Leave the specimen here, or do we burn it to be sure that it
I
doesn't
think we should destroy
follow
it.
us or tell
Don't know
its
if we have to-
friends?
Do we have the time?
Torches.
Do we have the time? There might be other survivors that will need our help more quickly.
We can light it on fire. I look over to Wit and say, friend, could you help with disposing of this problematic body now that we have found it?
I won't eat that. I don't like fungus.
I meant with fire. Do you have the ability to use fire without taxing your resources? I could light a torch. I don't think that's sufficient, however.
I do have firebolt, so
Okay. Do you want to use firebolt on the corpse?
I will, against Sarah's better judgment, use firebolt on the corpse. I don't really want to be breathing in fungus-infused fumes.
We're not going to stay,
Let's
but-
move away. Let's move upwind.
Yeah.
It's got a 120-foot
It's
range,
got a
Sarah.
120-foot range, so Wit will flap back significantly
Ricky
before
will step back to join you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joints. Yeah.
throwing a firebolt at this corpse.
Okay, so you get at range and you start hitting it over and over and over again, and it starts burning. The more and more that you hit it, it starts moving around on its own a little bit more as you're starting to hit it with the fire bolts.
Not sure fire good for fungus.
But eventually it does seem to burn up the body and the fungus both pretty good.
All right. One thing less to worry about behind our backs. Shall we check the trees next?
Yes.
Is there another
Ricky, that
mound?
was your suggestion, correct?
Yes, Sarah, there is another mound.
Oh, did we not check the second one?
That was just the
I
first
thought-
one.
Haven't dug
okay.
at the second one yet.
Let's check
Okay. I
this-
thought we were.
let me
I
check
thought we were
I
checking around both of
misunderstood.
them.
Yeah, all right. Let's absolutely. If we haven't cleared the campsite, let's check the second.
So you find another body under the second mound. You find the body of let's see, who is this person? You find the body of Ambrose Gilman.
Yep.
Okay.
Does he have a notebook or anything?
Yeah, he's one of the
Notebook,
guards.
Notebook.
No, but the body does have 2 gold, 5 silver, a crowbar, studded leather armor, a longsword, and a dagger.
I'm taking the crowbar.
The two gold, silver.
2 gold, 5
What-
silver, crowbar, studded leather, longsword, and a dagger.
Okay.
Same chest situation.
The chest is the chest has been opened, the fungus inside, and as you're unburying it and trying to loot the corpse, it again starts to move around on its own and then settles out again.
All right.
Burn him? Burn him?
Yes.
Yes.
Agreed. Any difference in the hieroglyphics on that on that mound?
No, it was the same.
Same warning.
Yep.
I think it's fairly obvious that whatever these creatures are saw the explorers as interlopers.
Interlope.
Probably.
Interlope.
We will be too.
Did someone bury these people to prevent the spread of these spores?
No, I think the storm just covered them.
Or
Wit's gonna like corral you away from the body.
Yeah, putting them at the mounds
And
would seem
start
to indicate
burning
that
it.
it is a warning or an offering, perhaps.
Okay, so what moves you all away from the body?
It's best to
and
destroy them.
does the same routine with the firebolt and eventually burns up the body and the fungus pretty well.
Okay.
Burial site. Clearly warning.
3 of our 12 accounted for.
It seems to me that we probably may not find any alive.
We'll see. But do we want to check the trees first? I don't hate that idea Ricky suggested. Seems like a decent plan.
If you're looking for shelter in a storm, trees would probably be where I would go if there was not a cave available.
Wit every now and then, because they have like a crazy good memory, will just imitate the muttering that he heard
Okay.
in his head again, almost like he's trying to make sense of it.
Sure.
That's disturbing, Wit.
Times I wish my character had comprehend languages, but I didn't build her that way.
And where would you like to explore next?
Let's head over to the trees then.
Okay.
To the trees.
Trees are gathered thickly here. Reins from a half dozen horses hang from the low branches, twisting uselessly in the wind. A river nearby flows from the northern hills. Here, out of the worst of the frigid wind, it's almost peaceful. A splash of red paints the snow, the start of a bloody trail leading towards the river.
Follow the trail.
Let's
Follow the trail.
We're looking for survivors.
Okay.
Or not survivivors. Then that would be
Looking
where to
for-
go.
answers
You want to find a
answers.
body.
and knowledge in either
So,
way.
the bodies of a woman and a horse lie just down a steep slope on the shore of the river. As you move closer, you can see that their ribs are cracked open to reveal their respective anatomies. Their internal organs have been removed and laid carefully to the side. The organs look to be covered in a dried yellow fungus. Carved into the flesh of the bodies are various hieroglyphs.
I'm assuming they look similar.
Correct.
Another warning. Another body.
This looks like someone did it deliberately by taking their internal organs out.
Someone or
This-
thing. Someone or thing.
Loot the body for
Yeah.
additional
This isn't
possessions
the
or
work of
information.
a wild animal, definitely.
No.
Or something.
I don't
Very
think it's a
dangerous.
wild animal. I think it's an intelligent individual.
Of course.
Well, either our large beast is accompanied or our large beast is very smart.
Let's try to identify this poor woman and take care of the
Okay.
body disposal as we did the others.
So, let's see. On the woman's body is a coin pouch with 15 silver and a field notebook that indicates her name is Lavina Marlowe. Within the notebook, she briefly chronicles the expedition's arrival at the meteor. She notes the odd, putrid-smelling fungus that coats its underside and wonders about the conditions that would allow for such a mold to grow in this environment. Despite her experience, she's unable to produce an explanation. She notes that she talked to Professor Redgrave about the mold, and that the two have agreed to take samples and examine it further. On the horse, there are 2 days' worth of rations and a 5-foot net attached to a 10-foot rope.
Take the net and the rope.
So yeah, I mean, the hieroglyphs are all the same. Everything is kind of similar to the mounds in some ways. So how would you like to proceed?
While Wit is taking care of these bodies, I'm going to take a larger look around the woods. Just kind of circle the area, see if there's anything of interest.
Okay. Do you want to make a perception or investigation check?
Perception. 11,
11.
which is technically less than my passive, but I don't know if we're doing that or not.
Yeah, we can do that. We can give a minimum of your passive perception.
Okay.
So, I mean, the bodies of the 2 bodies that you just found are along the river.
Mm-hmm. The woman and the horse. Yeah.
Yeah, and the river basically goes north, and you think that with your perception check, you can see that the river goes into. You think it goes into an opening. like in like maybe there's a cave or something.
Oh, okay. So,
Perhaps.
this river is coming from what looks like a cave over there. I wonder if that's the cave they sheltered in.
Could we tell if the bloody tracks were only one individual or multiple? I don't know if any of us is a skilled enough tracker to discern that.
Well, there was blood that basically led you to the bodies of this woman and the horse.
Okay, but we couldn't tell if there was more than one, like maybe someone got into the river and managed to flee, like any other tracks or everything covered by snow.
I mean, if you want to make a survival check to try to find that, it is
Sure.
difficult potentially with the snowfall, but
I can help you.
All right, I'll take some help.
sure, you can do it with advantage.
All right, sure. What is happening here? That one and
So essentially, the areas that you have now are the river goes north,
Oh.
possibly into a cave, and then there's the crater. Those are the two areas that you have right now.
since I rolled a 1 and an 8, I have a 10. That's not great. I'm guessing I didn't.
Okay, you don't find anything.
Okay.
There's no tracks leading north along
Alright.
the river
Okay.
or anything like that.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to checking this cave first, however, given it is the one that isn't surrounded by the fungus that we're hearing so many
I
warnings
mean,
about.
it's the only cave we've found so far.
There is a cave system that was noted in one of the field notebooks. That's inside
Under
the
the-
crater.
Under the
Yeah, but
crater
that's
that
on
they
the other
thought
side
it
of the
broke
wall that
through.
we
Well,
haven't
that
gone
would
over yet.
the crater
Yeah.
would have been the other thing, right, for us to check next. But
Yeah,
I'd rather check
you
this
guys can
cave.
do whichever you
I'd
want.
rather check this cave first before we go to the crater that's loaded with fungus that has
I mean,
killed
the-
several
I mean,
people.
I mean, the cave is essentially in the crater
Yeah.
wall, so.
Yes, correct.
No,
You
I mean,
want to go to the north
if
of
this
the
river
river?
comes from within the crater, then this just might get us inside, which would be nice.
This is perhaps
The river doesn't come from inside
subtle
the crater.
approach.
The crater is close by, but the river has nothing to do with the crater.
Oh, okay.
The river is
I thought-
totally separate. The river runs north and goes to a cave, and the crater is right near where you're at, and they're not connected in any way.
Oh, I
Let's-
thoued you said that the cave was on the side of the crater walls.
Let's check the cave off.
But we
the
can check
river,
anyway.
though.
Somebody might have gone
Yes.
in there to.
Well, I mean, you haven't checked the crater yet, but based on the drawing that you saw, it showed a big crack in the bottom of the crater, and they said, and
Yeah.
the field notebook said there was a cave in there. But you also can see a cave. Looks like at the mouth of this
Let's
river.
I think our odds of finding survivors are higher the further from the crater we get. So let's try the cave off the river.
I
If
mean,
you're all in
it
agreement.
It won't take long to look.
Okay. So you head up the river. A rushing river bursts forth from a cave opening here. A slick and narrow path follows alongside the river and into the darkness of the foothills beyond. So there is indeed a cave entrance here and a very fast-moving, rushing river that is coming out, and there is a narrow pathway along the side of it if you wanted to go in.
Yeah, let's
Riki
do it.
has no problems with going right on up, because he has dark vision.
Yeah.
Ah,
Okay.
this one also has it. Yes.
Jin,
Okay. So
Jin-
let's
Jin
see.
lights a torch just for those who don't.
Okay.
Because I don't think that blind sight doesn't give you any ability as far as dark vision goes. So she needs help with that.
No, but I mean, you can. I think blind sight makes it so you can effectively see
Really?
10 feet.
10 feet in front of you, basically.
You can avoid
Oh,
obstacles.
that's right, because you can see through darkness and magical darkness.
Yeah.
See anything that isn't behind is behind total. Yeah, see anything. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
it lets
She's
you
okay.
avoid obstacles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
And I don't know about Kenku.
think of it like a radar or something like that, kind of.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't think Kenku have dark vision, but whatever.
Okay. We can light a
Maybe
torch
we do.
if she needs it.
okay. So you can see. So Riki, you're in the lead.
I'm in the lead.
Okay. So you can see that the pathway, it's slick and it varies in its design, so to speak, in the way that it's made. So you can definitely go in. You can follow this narrow pathway, but you think that it may make it difficult to do that. So you need to approach it with caution, just so you're aware.
So half speed, and let's
So
Is the
as
path being narrow?
yes,
pause
correct.
on.
It's
Okay.
narrow and it's wet, and there's a rushing river, so there is a certain amount of danger involved. But you have to try to be
Okay.
careful as you're going. So so the pathway, as you go into the cave with Ricky in the lead, the pathway narrows to 6 inches wide for about 15 feet. So you kind of go inside the cave. It gets very dark, other than your dark vision, and the pathway narrows to 6 inches for about 15 feet.
Okay.
So
I don't know if anybody would have been able to squeeze through here. I mean,
Is there any evidence that someone did? Do we see footprints, tracks?
it is conceivable that you could try to leap the distance, or you could try to make dexterity acrobatics checks if you want to try to move along the very, very skinny edge. So essentially, if you want to do athletics to jump, or acrobatics to very delicately move across there, those are both options.
Right.
I mean, I could definitely do an acrobatics to try to slip by.
Yeah, that's Jin would probably be leaning on that too, based on her mercenary background.
Yeah.
She
How
has
could
a
you get
certain
by?
level of-
Acrobatics.
Yeah.
Okay, and Greg, your character Quinn, from this position where you see Riki's in the front,
Mm-hmm.
and he's contemplating what to do about this 6-inch wide area, you can see that basically on the other side of the river, from this very sort of dangerous area, you see some faint light coming from under the rapids along that wall. You just barely can see a very faint light coming from underneath there, because you're in an area that is dark,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a very faint light coming from over there. You're the only one that notices it,
Okay.
as Riki is trying to figure out what he wants to do with this path.
Is it in the water or just
It's in the water. Yes,
okay?
it's below the surface of the water.
Okay, and I say to them, "There's a light that I see very dimly in the water."
That distracts me enough that I take a look. Unusual for these caves. We still have that net, right?
I believe that Jin has a net. Yes.
And the rope.
Okay. So how would you guys like to proceed?
Sparkly thing. Peck at it.
Okay.
You've got the light under the water. You've got the path in front of you that's 6 inches wide.
I don't. Riki doesn't think we should try to go in the water.
Fortunately, I haven't learned something like Mage Hand to try to bring the object to us.
Does Quinn know something?
Does
like that?
Quinn know something like that?
Yes,
Oh.
I could try to fish that out of the water.
There's no object.
Oh, it's just light. Oh, okay.
It's just light. You just see
Does it
some light
look like
under the
that,
water.
like it's like an opening or like another cavern with light
Possibly.
in it?
Yeah. Possibly. Yep.
I go and peck at it.
You'd have to swim across the river, Wit, if you want to attempt some ability checks.
Okay.
I will attempt to swim across the river to peck at it.
That
We
water
have
looks very cold.
Let's put a rope on your waist.
yes. We have the rope in a net. Let's use it as a cargo net and try to go across with it.
Birds are good.
Greg
swimmers.
says out of character.
Wit doesn't wait very long for you guys to figure this out.
Okay. So I mean, are you jumping in without them tying you?
Jin very quickly
Wit
ties a
will put
rope
up a
around
fight
your waist.
about them like trying to like loop something around,
says,
but he's
Now, little friend, we don't want you swept away, and in addition to all this
swept away,
chaos we're dealing
swept
with.
away. Shiny.
And ties the rope
thing.
around the waist and works with Riki and Quinn to kind of have the net on standby to try to scoop her out if we have to.
Okay. So
yeah.
it's 20 feet across the river right here, and I need a athletics check from Wit as the Raven folk dives into the water with rope around waist. I need what is your speed? Wit. What is your
My
speed?
speed is 30,
Is 30. Okay.
and I just rolled a 15 for athletics.
And a 15 for athletics.
Mhm.
Okay. So, let's see. So, it is 20 feet across. And you can go 15 because you're going at half speed. So, the first check gets you most of the way across. And you will need to make another athletics check. Try to go the last.
Second is a Barovian 20.
Oh.
Moving 20. Okay. So you all see Wit jump in with the rope around their waist and swim across, fighting the current, and then disappear under the water. So.
Peck at the light, peck at the light.
With the water bird.
So, let's see. For Wit, you basically swim through a short underwater, yeah, I can speak, a short underwater tunnel that leads into a small chamber. And you kind of pop your head up, and you see this small chamber around you.
Flap, 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 flap.
And let's see. So there appears to be a body laying in this chamber. And it appears to be sort of up on like a makeshift dais, kind of. A small platform. There seems to be some sort of a dead body there. I mean, you're still sort of at the surface of the entrance along the floor, and looks like some kind of a small platform with a body on it. What do you want to do?
I will cautiously and optimistically go check to see if it's alive.
You gotta cautiously check to see if it's alive.
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. So you see a large insectoid-like creature. It basically looks like a 7-foot tall cricket with a whole bunch of legs, and it definitely appears to be dead. And it is overgrown with the same sort of fungus that you've been seeing.
Oh.
It's completely overgrown. It's a dead body. It's been here for a while. On the wall behind it is a roughly drawn bioluminescent mural in shades of blue, depicting a creature like this, like a large 7-foot tall cricket, essentially. You see like this depiction of a 7-foot tall cricket holding a cudgel, and seems to be like facing off against this beaked monstrosity, like some kind of a monstrosity with a beak. And this cricket individual is holding up this cudgel, and there is also a small earthenware pot nearby, and across the lap of this individual's body you see some sort of a cudgel.
Wit is not very smart.
Okay.
It has little wit.
Wit has very little wit. So Wit will panic at the inscription of something large and beaked, as well as the fact that there's more mold here and a giant cricket.
Yeah.
Very sad, but that's a meal gone bad. And tug on the rope.
Okay, so whoever's holding the rope, you feel an obvious tug from Wit, indicating that Wit is probably fine.
Okay. Yes.
So
I don't
you
know.
pull
I
her
would've-
back.
I mean, do we pull back or does someone follow the rope down?
What's getting pulled?
Honestly,
Or do we?
Ricky would interpret a tug like that as a pull me up.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
guys tell me what you do.
We
I
didn't
start
exactly
pulling.
discuss it, so
We didn't.
Yeah.
So Quinn is pulling.
Yep.
Yeah, we're pulling.
dang.
We're pulling. All right. Whit, do you resist?
No, I think Wit would just be like before going back underwater.
Okay.
Getting dragged like a wet bird.
Like a bird.
Okay. So as you get pulled back, the current tries to sweep you down the river. Are you? Let me ask you a question. Are you trying to swim back, or are you just kind of going with the pull of the rope?
Until I would, if I didn't feel the current yet, I would just kind of be going with it. Like, okay, I guess we're going for a ride. But if the current's gonna try to sweep me away, I would fight the current.
Okay. So once you get out from underneath the wall, once they pull you out from underneath the wall, make another athletics check for me.
Okay.
Try to swim safely back as they're pulling you. I will say you have advantage because you have a rope on you.
Okay, that's probably good because
I was going to ask, thank you.
was a 4.
Oh no.
So much for the hot athletics checks, huh?
9.
9. Okay.
So we're
So
pulling hard.
so you don't lose Wit, but Wit slams up against the rocks
Oh
Oh no.
and takes some bludgeoning damage.
Okay, it's not like it hurt their intelligence. A concussion won't kill them.
Let's see here.
Hi to Mr. Max.
So you take 3 bludgeoning damage from the
Ow.
rocks as they pull you back onto the other side.
no. Yeah, ouchie.
All right. So you
I say ouch
say ouch.
as I come out of the water and cough.
Also, one quick thing. As you're getting banged around under the rocks, and you're very uncomfortable, you feel this pain, you start to get a little bit distressed. You start to hear the weird mutterings in your mind again, the whispering, muttering.
Voice is back. Voice is back.
You're hearing voices?
You're not? Mutter, 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 mutter.
As you come out of the water and collect yourself, the voices kind of seem to dissipate again.
Oh.
But we don't know anything about this.
Just what Wit is telling you.
Wit's been imitating these voices and
Okay, so we do
saying,
know that they're going on.
That they're hearing something.
Yes, Sarah did state that every so often she's sort of mimicking the voices that she heard, so you know that she has heard and is possibly continuing to
okay.
hear something. Yeah.
Okay. Jen, she keeps hearing voices. I wonder where they're coming from.
Tell me. You tell me.
They get louder, or you start to understand them. Let us know. I don't know if there's much we can do to help with that.
Okay, Ricky. Okay, Ricky Ticky. Okay,
so-
Ricky Ticky.
So what did you see?
Body.
Something dead.
Something one we're looking for.
Stretches out their like winged hands. Big bug. Big bug.
Big.
What
Oh,
kind
a bug killed one of the people we're looking for.
What kind of bug?
He's spory. He's spory.
The bug is
Okay,
spory,
with fungus. Okay, that makes sense. A lot of bodies here are. But what kind of bug?
Do we
Makes
have
cricket
something to draw
noises.
with?
Makes cricket noises.
Wit literally does like the cricket, cricket, cricket,
Are you saying it's a grasshopper?
cricket, 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 cricket.
So being a Kenku, she can mimic the sound of a cricket perfectly.
Literally.
Okay.
So you know exactly what she's talking
Okay,
about.
it's a,
So,
it's a
so a
grasshopper.
cricket, but huge. Interesting.
Giant.
And
It's a
it
snake.
was-
Many
were-
meals.
and,
Did
and
one
it
of us
killed
make, like-
something?
Many meals.
But you said fungi.
fungus.
Wit, tell me you didn't taste it.
Spoiled dinner.
So no.
I'm sorry, I never play a troll character. This is new for me.
Great. This is
I think it's
super
great,
fun,
Sarah. I think it's
yeah.
awesome.
That's why Jin had to ask if you ate it, because the answer is always maybe.
So,
Pretty pictures. Pretty pictures.
so a giant cricket killed something in there, and now it's covered in fungus within a room full of pictures.
Come with me. Come with me.
Oh no, I'm not going in there.
Water nice. Water nice.
No, the
It
water
looks
cold.
like you just got hit pretty hard.
Would she or he have seen like an exit out of the room, or is it a totally sealed thing?
Wit did not see any exit out of the room.
Just
I
a
didn't
check.
really
Okay.
look either.
If you can
If
ask.
we
That's okay. It's small enough that there was no exit.
if we
Okay.
get to drier
Can you-
ground, can you reproduce the pictures? And the sand, like, etch them in the sand or in a notebook or
Wit's
something.
supposed to have a really good memory, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Ink
Oh
them.
yeah, I would think that if you gave me like a stick and there was mud
Photograph
nearby,
it.
I would be able to.
Yeah, or you could draw it in the snow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
that's right. It's frozen. Sorry.
Sure.
That's okay. No, that's okay. I mean, if you go outside the cave, you can draw in the snow. You can use your pee if you want to. You can pee in the snow and draw it.
Hey,
Yellow snow,
I
yellow
don't know,
snow.
Birds don't pee like that, man.
True.
They just
they have
poop.
cloacas.
I'd be just pooping it out and then like using my poop to draw or what?
Oh, don't play with your poop.
What is
Yes.
it with this channel and dick and fart jokes, man? So yeah, I'll draw out what I saw and then be like, weapon real.
So, oh, interesting. So there's
So you see this cudgel wielding 7-foot but it's a large cricket creature holding a cudgel of some kind. Seems to be fighting a beaked monstrosity, and it actually Wit is able to draw it with such detail that it looks like the beaked horror is cowering from this cricket creature with the cudgel, like it's afraid of this cricket creature that's holding the cudgel.
Interesting.
So if we want to
is
stop,
this a friend of yours?
Who?
maybe
Quinn?
the crickets are friends.
Never seen him.
Maybe the
I
crickets are
point at the big weird round beaked thing. Say, Quinn, is this a friend of yours?
Why would that be a friend of mine, Ricky?
Well, your patron. That kind of looks like something that your patron would be.
I sigh and just walk away.
I mean, could any of us make checks with Arcana or?
That's essentially what
Yeah.
that's what Ricky's trying to go for.
Is,
Do
you
you
know,
recognize it?
Do you or I have the magical background or history, or does someone?
I could
Yeah.
try. I have
You can make any kind of check that you think is appropriate.
all right, I'll try an Arcana check and see if I can recognize.
Could be history, could be Arcana, could be nature.
Yeah, Arcana. All right, let's go. Another 21.
Ooh.
Another 21. Okay, so
Yeah, buddy.
you still have absolutely no idea what what is being depicted.
We don't know. Okay, fair enough.
I don't know what it is. I'm sorry.
Oh well, hey, we're all
Nice.
stupid here.
Nice try, though.
I mean, some of the journal entries, talked about like things from out of this world. I don't remember the exact quote. I probably got it here somewhere, but one of the notebooks talked about, one of the field notebooks talked about things sounding like stories, like old stories of things.
Oh, right. Old stories from the old world.
Yeah. See if I can find that again.
Wit's gonna point at the cudgel in the picture, say, "Do we need this? Do we need this?"
So Professor Lestrange talked about some of the old stories known to man, stories which involve strange and horrific creatures, visitors from other planes of existence and forbidden knowledge too terrible to bear.
If we end up fighting this thing and it doesn't like the cudgel, then maybe we kind of do. I'll go in and get it this time.
Can I help you? I mean, would it be? Is this something where, like, if we use the ropes, like a couple people could help each other?
Tie me up, woman! Oh wait.
We can do the same procedure for Ricky that we did for Wit, which is going in. Ricky's on his own. Coming back out
Right.
with the pulling of the rope, he can get
Okay.
advantage.
If two people make the swim together, can they help each other though? That's what I'm asking.
no.
Is it
I don't think
No.
so.
All right, that's okay.
No.
That's fine.
If you, Jin, do you want to go in?
I think you're probably stronger than me, friend. My training is of a different flavor than that.
No, no. I mean, if anybody wants to go in, I can see if I can tie off the rope. Otherwise, I'm just going in to get the stick.
I mean, that's fine. I think the cudgel. I agree. The cudgel might be worthwhile to have based on that history.
Okay, then I will go in and get the stick.
Okay,
I'm
do you
such
have
a space cadet. I missed the results of Greg's check because the baby was fussing, so I was
Yeah,
distracted.
okay.
21, but he still
Yeah.
has no idea what's
That's right.
going on.
Okay, that's it. Yeah.
And I made reference to the field notebook talking about things from other planes of existence and whatnot.
Okay.
So, Ricky, you have the rope tied onto you anyway,
I
though?
have the rope.
Okay. Athletics check, please.
Athletics. That's too bad. 'cause
Courage
acrobatics
strong,
is
courage
+5.
strong.
But
Yes, my acrobatics is much better than my athletics.
athletics. Oh, I rolled a 2 on the dice.
Oh no.
As I start to jump into the water, my foot slips on the slippery surface, and I hit the
no.
water weird.
Okay. So, you
Oopsie
are going to...
Daisy. Oopsie daisy.
So your friends seeing this happen try to hold fast on the rope. So if you want to make another athletics check with advantage to help reduce damage from the rocks, you may do
Another
so.
athletics check with advantage. 11.
11. You do not reduce the damage.
Oh, no.
John.
You take 5 bludgeoning damage as you're bashed against the rocks.
Ow.
But your friends are able to hold on to the rope and kind of pull you back over to the side so you can get back up.
Okay. Let me try that again. That didn't happen.
Go for it.
You can do it. You can do it.
11. Geez, my dice do not like me.
11. Okay. Make another athletics check with advantage to reduce damage from the rocks.
Oh no.
Dude, don't kill yourself like trying to get in.
9. Seriously, my dice do not want to
9.
roll above a 10.
Oh no.
New dice.
Remember, we
retired.
don't
Fire
have
them.
a healer.
4
So
failures in a row, you're done.
You take
Whit's gonna dive back in.
you take 3 more points of bludgeoning damage as your friends pull you back to the side.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, so Wit gets the rope, ties it around, jumps back
At
in.
20.
wow.
Oh, damn!
Nat 20.
This is
Okay.
21
Waterbird.
total.
I am hysterically amused that it's the
So-
sorcerer out of all of us.
Okay, so you get 15 feet across with no problem. I need another check to go under the wall.
Do it.
Oh no. That's a
Oh.
All right, make an athletics check with advantage to try to avoid some of the damage from the rocks.
Dag nabbit.
Barovian 20.
Okay,
Nice.
so instead of taking 5 bludgeoning, you take 2.
But really 2.
I have to wonder if you could get to the bottom of the river. Could you like climb along it against the current, right?
I don't know. I don't have a spider climb or anything. But
Right.
You guys shouldn't have pulled Wit out of the cave.
She shouldn't have tugged on the rope.
So, what are you guys doing?
I mean,
Is someone making it in there?
Wit is halfway across the river, right?
Or did I make it in with that?
She's almost there. Does she get to try to push forward again, or did she take the damage and tumble the rest of the way, or how does that work?
Basically, once you lose control, you get smashed up against the rocks, and then you would just get washed down the river. But I'm not saying that because you guys are being smart and have a rope there.
Okay.
So it still resets the whole sequence. Because otherwise, you would just be
You have to drag,
chasing,
so we have to drag
chasing her
back.
all the way down the river to get her. Yeah.
Okay. So she tries again to get in there.
So you're back.
So am I still halfway across the river, or
No,
am I back at the shore?
no, you're back at the shore.
Basically, you slip, we have to pull you back.
Clunky. Yeah. Frustrating.
Yeah.
Does
Trying to
nobody
get-
have like teleportation or anything that could help us with this?
Second
Into the
level,
water?
probably not.
Right. No. Yeah.
All right, Ricky, you trying again?
I have mage hand. I don't know if that'll help you.
That doesn't help.
Oh,
Is this like wall that I went under something that we can see above the water?
I mean, the river is 20 feet across, and there's a cave wall that's over there, and so there's a wall over there, and then just below the surface is an opening in the wall.
I'm wondering if I could magic missile on a bigger opening.
You don't think you could do that on the cave wall?
Okay.
Oh, could someone with a bow or a crossbow like run a rope across, right? Basically give someone something to hold on to that's above the water rather than
I think we're
swimming.
overthinking this.
Yeah.
It's a stone
I'm
wall.
gonna give it one more try.
The
Okay.
athletics of this combined party are terrible. The fact
I mean,
Oh,
my,
that was
my
accidentally
acrobatics,
with advantage. Ah.
Just roll it again.
my acrobatics is great. If I could tumble. by
same. If I could use acrobatics, I'd be great at this. But my athletics is -1, so
All right, Wit's trying again.
Dang. Had a 19 on that previous roll. This was a 7.
Oh no.
All right.
No.
Okay, so make a athletics check with advantage to help reduce damage.
Barovian 20.
There you
Okay.
go.
So instead of taking 2 bludgeoning damage, you take 1 bludgeoning damage.
1. This is pointless. This is pointless.
How badly do we really want that stick?
Is it in there?
It is.
Yeah, there's a body of a giant cricket person that has the
Yeah.
cudgel that is.
With a weapon that we probably need.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it.
We should have climbed down the rope to her while she was on the
Yeah.
other side, but we misinterpreted because we didn't talk about it because everybody's
Yeah.
tired.
And because Wit just kind of dived in.
Mm. All right.
I was so excited because I knew that this series of like frustrating rolls could occur, and the fact that she made it across in the first go, I thought great, and then you guys pulled her back.
I should have taken the "Are you resisting this?" as a hint.
You could have, yeah.
Well,
I mean, how bad?
I did offer a chance there.
You did.
How badly do we want this weapon?
Ricky wants to try one more time.
Looks important. Looks important.
I'm not bloody yet. We're bloodied by the stupid river.
Is there anything we could do to buff you? I don't have much of that being a warlock, unfortunately.
Is somebody else gonna give it a college try?
Actually, let's see.
Ricky, what is your
I mean-
speed normally?
30. Yeah, 30.
There you go. Because you move at half speed across this 20-foot span.
Okay. I'm going to take a moment and suck wind.
Okay, second one. Gotcha.
Yep. Because I'm assuming that we're going to take a break afterwards, and I'll get it back.
I mean,
so-
you guys can spend all day fighting
Yeah.
the current if you want.
We might.
Take my... Ooh! Good. Roll 12.
Nice.
This is back to max. Okay. Ricky's ready to try again. Give me the rope.
Good luck, Ricky. Watch the rocks. Watch the rocks.
How far could you jump to get in so that you're swimming from like as far forward a point as you could? What's your standing jump?
I have a strength of 0. Strength of 10.
It's still in athletics
Yeah.
to jump.
right, let's try this again.
Okay, Ricky's going in with the rope.
11.
11.
I can't see. The dice just keeps rolling a 9.
So make an athletics check with advantage to reduce damage.
Oh, see, now you roll a 19 on the dice. 21.
Damage that time.
Okay. So instead of taking 8 bludgeoning damage, you take
Ooh.
4.
Ouch.
That's good.
No. No, I'm just going to kind of keep throwing myself at this one.
Okay.
And of course, the only question is how much damage I take before I succeed.
Right.
All right. Diving. Oh, well, 12.
12. That is a failure.
It's still a failure. Okay.
Still a failure.
With advantage.
And 10. Leading with advantage, so what's the advantage on now? Oh my god, this must be like a 15 or something to get to it.
Okay. So, alright, so I need to give you some damage, right?
Yep.
Let's see. This is full damage?
Yeah, I rolled it. Yeah,
that's
I got,
5 bludgeoning.
Still not bloody.
But Jin could take a turn. She's not great at it. It's a bummer that
I
we
only
can't
have
use
a +1 to
acrobatics.
athletics, and I made it across the first time.
I have
Maybe your
a minus
dice
one.
would be nice to you. Mine are not being nice.
Ricky
at
and I
all.
are both dexterity flavored fighters.
Yeah.
Strength is one of my dump stats.
Same.
I'm not saying that you have a high strength. I'm saying that you don't
Yeah.
need to have a high strength to make it
if the
across.
dice don't decide to be cruel. Okay, so I take the rope. It's like, well,
Okay.
let's try this.
Okay.
2.
Oh boy.
Okay, athletics with advantage to avoid
Oh my
damage.
goodness gracious.
Of all the times for me to not resist
Okay,
a neutral.
so now an 18.
So instead of 5, you take 2.
Okay.
2
All
bludgeoning.
right, this is getting silly, and
This is getting very
she'll
silly.
try again.
I'll first stick.
Yikes.
All right, here we go again. Come on, dice.
Wit's gonna dive in
I
again.
swear to
too,
God,
at the
another
same
2.
time.
Oh my gosh. Another
Wit's
2.
just very excited by the whole process at this point. And
Okay.
Wit rolled a 15.
Okay, so Wit swims 15 feet across, and Jin has to make another athletics check to help reduce damage.
Okay. And a 16.
Wait, you don't have the rope.
You take 2 bludgeoning.
Okay.
All right, Wit, second roll.
7.
Ah.
You get washed down the stream.
Fine.
You can make an athletics check without advantage to avoid some of the damage.
Ugh.
Nat 20.
That's funny.
Okay, so instead of 5, you take 2 bludgeoning, and you get washed out of the cave.
All right.
Let's go collect our bird and take a break.
I mean, I could still try a couple more. If we're going to rest anyway, then it's worth another try.
But what about Wit? We need to go check on Wit.
How far away is Wit? Like 50 feet?
Wit is
You
washed
know?
downstream.
Wit is washed downstream out the cave.
Oh.
Well, let's go get her.
Him.
Him.
Oh, really?
Sarah's
Oh, I
playing a
didn't
him.
realize it was a him. Oh, okay. All right.
I
His
wasn't
name
sure.
is Whitmore E.
Okay.
Name. Witty
Okay.
name.
Let's go get him.
Yeah.
Witty name.
Which is a
Okay,
very Kenku name.
so you go and you collect Wit.
Drowned bird. Drowned bird.
I told you not to go without the rope. I need a break. Ricky's tired.
Tempted to just jump at it again.
Ricky says we just go inside the cave a little bit and we just take a break.
Depends. Are you guys, once you collect Ricky, you guys
Or wait.
you guys heading back?
I mean,
Wit's marching right back to that cave, shaking feathers on the way,
Yeah.
She's
Sorry.
determined. to
tying
get
a
back
rope
Yeah.
around his own waist.
Ricky is still convinced that we need the stick against whatever it
Yeah.
is that we might need.
Same thing for Jen. Yeah, she'll keep trying.
Okay, so who's going in next?
I just rolled an 8.
Did you at least get the rope?
She had the rope.
Yeah, I just said that I tied a rope around my own waist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so another athletics check to avoid damage.
9.
9, you take 6 bludgeoning.
Ugh.
All right.
Wit's not looking so
All
good.
right. My turn.
Okay, go
On a
ahead.
scale of 1 to 16, I'm
agree.
about a 2.
This is crazy. All right. So with the rope.
That's just not being nice. Holy crap.
11.
All right, make a check to avoid damage with advantage because you have a
Alright.
rope.
And an 18, because that's the only check that I can roll well.
So
Is
you take 2 bludgeoning.
okay.
All right, we need a better thing than just diving in head first here.
There's nothing else that we have. What
Can we use the net somehow?
Could we use the net to climb across? Like there's.
No,
There's nothing.
it's just a net.
If we can't
Uh.
help each other swim across to give each other advantage on the check, I don't see where this goes other than bash our heads on the wall till we finally get it.
Well, I can give it a try.
mean,
Maybe you'll
You
get
guys
lucky.
tell me what you want to do?
I'm gonna try. And we'll see what happens.
And you can mage hand the stick away from the body so you don't have to touch
Yes.
the thing.
I mean, yeah.
All right, so
And I was asking about jumping, like standing jumping into the water, because I thought everybody had a standing jump that didn't require
Ugh.
a check. Because if someone standing jumps into the water, they don't have to swim as far.
All right, so
Maybe make it in only one check. That's why I'm asking the question.
I rolled a 9.
all right, make a
Let me
check
look
with
up the
advantage.
rules. I'll look up the rules on a standing jump.
Well, there's also a running jump if you have enough room.
Right,
I
but
don't
this
think we
is a
do.
tiny little ledge. I doubt, but
Oh,
maybe.
right,
I,
right.
yeah.
What do you, Craig?
So what is it? A what check?
It's still it's always athletics.
Athletics. Okay.
Yep.
So 11.
Was that with advantage?
Yeah, both dice rolled the same thing.
Okay,
A,
so
a standing
that's
long
6
jump.
bludgeoning.
Ugh.
A
That's
standing long jump is the number of
That's
feet equal
terrible.
to half your strength score.
Eesh.
So I would
Okay.
only get 6 feet out of a standing long jump. But that's enough to make one check to get through, right? Because it's 20 foot wide.
Well, I mean, I'm not
We
sure if
also have
this
to
is.
get under the wall.
Well, the thing is, like, I'm trying to figure out how to rule this as a DM because in Chris's brain, I think if you jump in the river, you hit the water,
And
you
it's
get
going to try to...
and it like pulls you away. Whereas like if you get in the water and you start swimming against the current,
Yeah.
that's different. Like you probably jump across, hit the water, go down about 20 feet away from the hole, and before you
Right.
could stop yourself from actually getting pulled by the current.
But could you
by the current?
Could you interpret the standing jump as someone who has the athleticism to essentially make a dive where they hit the water 5 feet out?
If it wasn't for the fact that the adventure specifically calls out about getting bashed by the rocks, like if this was like something, if this was like a really big, huge, giant, deep river, then sure. But this is 20 feet wide, rushing really fast. There are rocks all over the place under the surface. Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't make any sense to me that
I
you'd
mean-
be able to jump in and then just stay in that spot and start swimming. I just don't see that as working.
Well, if you dive, you have momentum. That's why I'm asking.
With the
question.
rocks in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
river that
yeah,
are going really
yeah.
fast, that are
Okay.
bashing
Dive
up
into
against the
shallow
rocks.
water.
You don't
Yeah.
dive into shallow water with
Yeah.
rocks that are bashing you
That's fair.
and you taking lots of
Dumbass
damage.
Kenku do.
All right, so I'm gonna
Now I'm
try.
saying shit.
I'm gonna try my
Sorry.
last time because.
Okay, let's be nice. Be
All
nice,
right.
dice. Be nice,
All right,
dice.
come on. All right, so it's a 12.
It's a 12.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you what. This is what we're going to do. I'm trying to think if this was the thing that I called out when I actually read the adventure, and I was like, they could spend a really long time here doing this and never succeed and get very frustrated. I think this is the spot that I called out when I read this.
Okay.
So I'm going to give Greg some damage for this last one, and we're going to say that you get into that room. pick
Okay.
somebody who's going to get into that room, and you get into that room, and you tell me what you want to do, and we'll give Greg the damage, and we'll say that you're going to have to take a short rest to recover from how arduous and difficult that this was.
Okay.
So make a check with advantage, Greg. Athletics.
Ooh, okay. So 20.
Okay, so you take 1 bludgeoning.
Nice.
So eventually you do get over there into that room, and then you get back across, and you have to take a short rest once you do that. So
As a
once
bit
you're
of feedback, I think that
Yeah.
DC is a little high for a level 2 characters.
I think that's good feedback. I was actually going to do stars and wishes at the end, and since we since
My
we need to wrap
feedback
up
would
soon.
be that acrobatics. I'll save it for stars and wishes. Yeah.
So you get into that room, and what do you guys do when you get in that room?
Get the cudgel.
Get the cudgel.
Okay, so you said there was the spory insect with the cudgel, the thing, and an earthen jar of some kind.
Correct.
Earthenware jar, yeah.
Correct. There's an earthenware pot, and there is the cudgel.
I might
Okay.
as well check out the pot.
Okay. It contains
Man.
a blue bioluminescent powder.
Oh.
Blue, not yellow.
So like what was on the painting?
Basically, yeah. The
Okay.
the painting on the cave wall seems to be made
Okay.
from this bioluminescent powder.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So this was probably was their
I mean,
artistic
if
medium.
it's of the crickets, that's probably a good thing.
I don't know if we can take it. Riki doesn't think we can take it back through the water.
You can take it back to the water. It has a cover on it.
Well, okay.
If you brought the net with you, you could gather up everything in the net and just drag it along with you. Make the crossing back.
Jin
Can
has
we
the net.
think to maybe tie
Yeah.
the rope off in the room and then use the rope to go back across the water?
That would also be smart. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to belabor the getting across the water
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
The short rest is encompassing everything else that could possibly go wrong.
Okay. All right,
we-
good.
So we got all the stuff basically.
So you got all the stuff. I will say,
Okay.
John, that if Riki's in there and he's looking at, he's trying to get he's getting the cudgel away. You do notice that the bones of this cricket individual, they are sort of chipped and scarred. They look like they've been damaged in some way that
Yeah.
is not consistent with anything that you're aware of.
Animal.
Fell in battle.
animalistic.
I mean, it looks like it was damaged, in
And-
some way.
Fell in battle in some way.
Like perhaps it had been in a battle or it had
Yeah.
fought something, and its bones have indications of it being damaged.
A warrior's
I'll
tomb.
just stash that in the
Yeah.
back of my head.
And when you see the mural, it looks like this person using the cudgel fighting some beaked thing.
Probably got damaged, fighting whatever this big beak thing
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
He's
but
afraid of the stick.
But you get the cudgel and you get the powder and you get back across. And you guys, do you want to spend your short rest outside the cave?
It's a little narrow on the ledge.
Yeah.
So probably back up a little bit and take a short rest.
Okay.
Then we can continue along the cave.
All right, sounds good. So this is a good place for stars and wishes, which is something that for our regular listeners, we've been doing this in the Dragon Birth campaign. I wanted to keep doing it in this adventure as a way to give playtest feedback, so to speak. Even though the adventure is already written, it's on Kickstarter, but still, let's do stars and wishes. So, starting with Greg, tell me what you liked about the adventure. Was there anything that stands out about what you liked?
Well, I like the setting is cool, and I'd like to find out more about what's going on, which I know
Okay.
we'll eventually find that out. But it seems intriguing right now that whatever these monster things are that we're going to face, so that seems kind of cool.
Okay. Do you have any wishes, things that you would like to see?
I personally don't, because I didn't try that much with trying to get across the thing. So
Okay.
I'm going to leave that for others.
Okay. John, stars and/or wishes, totally voluntary.
Yeah, stars. I do like the mystery that is starting to unfold here.
Okay.
the fact that we can't just immediately identify whatever it is that's going on, even with good rolls, tells me that I like that we're facing something unique
Okay,
here.
that's cool.
Wishes, yeah, getting across the river is. I mean, it's funny at first, but yeah, I think it's just a bit much for a level 2 character
Okay.
to be able to make. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm inferring it had a DC of like 15, which means I'd have had to have rolled a 13 or better, which is not very good odds.
I gotcha. Yeah, I think this is the part that I called out about how this could get very frustrating.
Yeah.
When I was reading it the first time through.
And of course, the dice don't help. Freaking dice. I'm printing a dice, Joe.
Is that all your stars and wishes, Joe?
Yeah, that will do.
Okay.
That'll do.
Sarah, stars and wishes?
Stars. I enjoy the creepiness of the wintry graves and the boots. I enjoy the check getting across the water. It almost just seems like there should be something like a protruding rock that they can tie like a rope to, or something that might make it easier if they can make like a lasso check.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Rather than lower the DC, have alternate solutions.
Alternate solutions.
Gotcha.
Wishes. I wish I hadn't let them pull me back.
Well, that's partly my fault because I started that.
I mean, it happens. I mean, adventuring crews have these things happen, so it
I was
works.
like, do you want to resist?
Are you sure you don't want to resist? Yeah.
I was so excited because I'm like, oh my God, they made it the first try. And I'm like, this could be so arduous and terrible. And they made it on the first try. And then it wound up being
that sucked
somewhat
up all my
arduous
luck
and
for the
terrible.
day. Thanks. Sucked up my luck, man. Yeah, and wishing for more fun with my Kenku friend. Good.
All right. Kate, stars and or wishes?
Yeah, I think, see here, enjoying the new party dynamic. It's definitely a very interesting party that we both have no healers and no strength-based characters at all. I don't. So that's different, but I also like the personalities are fun. So this is, it's fun to see where it goes. The world building is very cool as far as kind of setting the scene and all the creepy factor. Wishes that this is going to beat the dead horse. I would agree. My constructive feedback for this being level 2 characters would be like, letting people use either acrobatics or help each other to swim across, or maybe like create an alternate path for someone who's very nimble could climb. It's just to kind of give options in case you have a party that is as uniquely balanced or unbalanced as we are.
Sure.
Uniquely unbalanced.
We're always imbalanced. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, yes, that's a given, but
we're all of us unbalanced in some way.
Having lots of fun, excited to see where this is going to go. Yeah.
Okay. My stars and wishes would be that I really like the fact that there are like all these different things that you can explore, and there are all these little bits of foreshadowing that give you this idea of the mystery, sort of like how John said he likes the mystery. I really like the foreshadowing and all the different areas you can explore and all the different things that you find. I think that is all very fun and interesting. The things that I would like to see is a different way to get across that obstacle. Essentially, I think that's probably about it for right now. Yeah, I think that's it for my stars and wishes.
That's it.
But I think you guys have a really fun group. I'm looking forward to going through the rest of this. I imagine this will take like 3, maybe 4 sessions, but probably more like 3. We'll see how it goes. But this has been a lot of fun, and we'll pick up next time. So let's say goodnight to the listeners.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Love you. Good night, listeners. Good night, listeners.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave us a review anywhere this podcast can be found. Our social media links plus additional content can be found on our website at knightsofroleplay.com. Please tell your friends about Knights of Roleplay, an adventuring podcast, and spread the word through social media. Your help and support are greatly appreciated.